This little girl, Lilian, was 11 years old when she started secondary school. And not just any secondary school, but boarding school. Meaning she'd be living in school and not getting to see her family as often as she would before. But she was so excited for this and looking forward to making new friends. In her hostel, she had these supervisors, one of whom we'll call Karen. The role of the supervisors was to look after the girls and make sure they were clean and tidy and studying and on time, as they would be going to the main school for actual classes. In the main school, they would be mixing with other students, some of whom were day students, meaning those who came to school every weekday and would go home instead of sleeping in the school like the boarding school students. After classes, the girls would all walk together back to the hostel, where sometimes one of the supervisors, Karen, would be outside the hostel door waiting for them, welcoming them, asking them how their day went, and giving them big hugs. But when it came to Lilian, this was not the case. Karen was always so hostile towards her, she would push her away, "Leave me alone, you dirty girl." But Lilian was a very happy child and she tried not to think much into it and just went about her day. Lilian was a pretty smart girl and she was good at certain subjects. Now, she was so happy to work with her new friends on assignments, and this girl called Vanessa came to Lilian one day asking her for help on a math assignment that they had, which Lilian was happy to do, but Karen was unhappy about. With her anger, Karen called Vanessa and Vanessa's cousin and sat them down and spoke to them to never go to Lilian for help, because people like Lilian will always look down on them for ever coming to her for help. The girls didn't understand this because they thought Lilian was quite a nice girl, but they decided to stay away from her after that. Lilian noticed and was not happy about this. During short breaks, the girls would go home. Lilian was home with her parents and she had a nice break. And at the end of the holiday, she would go shopping with her mom to the market to buy things for school. While in the market, she begged and begged her mom to please let her use some of the money that was given to them to buy her provisions for school, to buy gifts for her supervisor Karen instead. The mom didn't understand it because she was like, "It means you have less snacks, you have less pocket money." But Lilian pleaded and pleaded, and the mom just said, "Alright, I'll put in some extra money for you so you can get a gift for your supervisor that you like." Lilian was so happy about this. She hoped it would bring peace with her supervisor Karen so she could be like the rest of the kids. And just as she expected, it did. Karen was so happy to receive this expensive piece of fabric. Karen even showed Lilian the material after she showed it into a dress, and Lilian thought she was out of the clay and they would be good friends now. But that was not the case. Karen went back to being cold and hostile to her afterwards, which left Lilian so confused because she didn't understand hate as a child. There was another lady in the hostel called Mrs. Kane. She was the hostel mistress, so she was the boss of all the supervisors. Mrs. Kane liked Lilian. She thought she was a sweet girl, very social. She put in so much effort into the activities and made the school a nice environment for her friends. So she decided to appoint Lilian as the hostel prefect, meaning for all the girls in her class, she'd be the one as serving as their leader. As you can imagine, for weird people, Karen was pissed about this. She would wake Lilian up in the middle of the night after lights out when the girls would be asleep and call her to come to her room, since she's now the hostel prefect, to come and arrange the supervisors' rooms, arrange the provisions, sweep the floors, and she would pour water on the floor and ask Lilian to mop the kitchen and arrange the plates and cups and clean out the fridge. And sometimes she would even hit Lilian, and Lilian would cry a little bit and be so sad because she couldn't understand why Karen was being so mean to her. And she was the only one getting this treatment, so she couldn't understand. And unfortunately, Lilian wasn't really sharing her feelings with any of the other girls, as they had kind of pulled away from her. So even in class, she would think about this and she would dread going back to the hostel. After a few days, another girl joined the hostel called Farida, and Lilian was more than happy to work with Farida to help her catch up on assignments and other things, and also because she just wanted a new friend. One day, while the two girls were walking together, Farida said to Lilian that, "You're so much nicer than I thought. I wonder why they've been telling us to stay away from you." And then went on to tell Lilian how Karen had been calling all the girls to her room and telling them to stay away from Lilian. That Lilian was a witch, as she was from a tribe of people that were called witches, and if the girls hung out with them, they would never get to pass their school grades, and that Lilian would be taking advantage of all of them. And she even dragged in the hostel mistress into it, saying the hostel mistress was from this tribe as well. Lilian was shocked. Lilian was so surprised by this, but it made sense why Karen did not like her and treated her so badly. So she decided to do some investigation when she went to school, and she asked some of the other girls while she was in school. She sat with them in the libraries and she spoke to them about this. That, "Has Miss Karen been saying this and this to you?" And the girls talked to her and basically confirmed the stories that, yeah, Miss Karen has been saying this and that about you, that you're a witch, and that Miss Kane is a witch, that's why Miss Kane likes you, and that we should all stay away from you. And this was so crazy. At the same time, it made Lilian so sad and so confused about what to do. Lilian was so confused about what to do about this information. She considered reporting to the school officials, or to Miss Kane, or to some of the other supervisors, but she feared that they might not really do anything about it. So eventually, she decided to write a letter to her parents, detailing everything that had been going on and everything the girls had said to her. And she gave it to one of her friends who lived close by her and was a day student, so he took it to her parents, who were shocked to receive this letter. Oh, as you can imagine, Lilian's father was furious. "How can I be spending so much money and this is how they're treating my daughter in this school? No, this cannot be possible." Lilian's mother thought about it and it made sense. No wonder she wanted to use all her money to try and impress this wicked lady, Karen. My question for you guys is, what would you do if you were this little girl, Lilian, or her parents, or one of the friends that knew this is what she was going through?